Well drunk, not funny. All right, we are live. Yo, for those of you guys that are waiting, do you have to refresh the screen? Or does it just pop up when I'm live? Because I have to refresh it. Pretty big slate tonight. It's going to be a pretty tough solo stream. What's up, guys? What's going on? How'd you guys do last night? Anyone play any Draftkings? Anyone have some good nights from your fantasy players? I filled out the hat trick prediction sheet. There was a lot of high scoring people tonight. Or last night, sorry. We had one guy with Rantanen. He was like best player last night. You pop up. All right. Appreciate it. Pacioretty and Zuccarello for Landeskog and Svech. Yeah, I would take Landeskog and Svech in that. Like, Zuccarello's good, don't get me wrong, but he was a waiver wire pickup. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, he's on the waivers for a reason. Like, although he's been good, I still think that it's hard to pass up two players that were drafted like top 75 for someone that you picked up on waivers. So he's going to come back down to life. Like, I'm looking here, his best season of his career was 61 points in the Rangers in 2015. But since then, he hasn't really been too good. Struggled last season. But I mean, some players do have outlier performances. Like, he does have Kaprizov there, who's looked really strong for them. But thoughts on Kaprizov plus Tanev for Pajot-Fiala? Pajot-Fiala side wins. It's pretty close, though, because I know Tanev's really good for hits. Should I accept Kaprizov for Hornquist? In our league, Brew, I think I would still hold on the Hornquist just because our league really prioritizes power play one. Like, teams that just have really good power plays. Like, I can show you here, Nick. Just give me a sec. Florida had a 25% power play, and then you're getting Kaprizov. I mean, he's good for points. Like, their points are going to be similar. It's just, I don't Minnesota. We have the slate from yesterday. I don't know if still, yeah, it's going to tell us. Like, they have a 7.6% power play. So, I don't know. I didn't listen to you, and I benched Tavares for Backstrom. Never again. Hey, it happens. I just thought it was such a bad matchup, but that game was so low event. Like, I remember looking at one point, and it was like 11 shots to 10 in the third period. Like, I don't know what happened in that Boston game. I was really high on them. I ended up having a pretty good lineup. I think I ended 24th out of 9,500 in the mini-max last night. It was a Colorado 1, Toronto 3. Theodore got me 2 points. McKinnon got hurt, but still a good lineup. Boston was just in such a favorable spot. Like I was saying, telling people in the Discord, if that game's played over 100 times, I think it ends 2-1 Washington maybe once. Maybe one time. But I set up Nightbot, guys. It's supposed to be like just relaying everyone links to our Discord and our Patreon just to make it a little bit more accessible through the chat. I don't know if it's going to work. It's my first time trying it, so bear with me. Bruins game was so boring. Yeah, it was. Anyone know anything new about McKinnon injury? No, I didn't see anything, but I have him in 2 of my 3 leagues. He's still like top 5. Colorado saved my net. Yeah, me too. Big time. Would you potentially drop Taylor Hall? No, I would not drop Taylor Hall. No, you're good to hold on to him, Mitchell. Like, he's still an elite player. Buffalo's kind of in a lull period right now. Like, you just kind of got to think long term, right? Like, there's still 30, 40 games left in his season. So if he puts up 35 points in those 40 games, like, you're happy. I don't know. Buffalo's been like a kind of a mess. But when I was watching the game, like, that Hall, Stahl, Okposo line had a ton of scoring chances, but who knows? Yeah, I don't think McKinnon's had too many like long-term injuries in his career that I know of anyways. Trade Hedman for Barkov. That just depends on your needs, really. Like, how is your decor good enough where you can give up Hedman? Right? Because Hedman's like a top 5 defenseman, where Barkov would be kind of like a top 10 center, maybe top 12 center in the league. So it just depends if you're able to give up a defenseman. Like, if your decor's stacked, then yeah, you can probably get rid of Hedman. All right, we'll get started. Kind of a long slate today, guys. It's going to be a bagger for me. So bear with me. I'm going to do my best to answer all your guys' questions, engaging chat and everything, and then also getting through all these games. So it's going to be tough, but bear with me, guys. I know you guys are all super patient, so I love it. All right, Philly, Pittsburgh. Interesting game. So this Philly one line got a ton of ownership on DraftKings. Like they're priced around like the Matthews-Marner range. For players that really aren't even close to the caliber of Matthews Marner. So I'm pretty much off Philly tonight. Like I'm going to have a little bit, but I just think they're really priced up. They're on the road. Tough matchup against Pittsburgh, who's actually really turned their season around. Like I get Crosby's out and that's fine. But I just think it's too tough of a matchup tonight. Tristan Jarry's been really hot. I took him 2 nights ago when they played at like 0.9% ownership and he got me like 30 points. But it was kind of unfortunate that Pittsburgh won, didn't crush that night. But pretty low on Philly tonight. I was trying to do some digging here. It looks like this Pittsburgh one line was facing against the Couturier line for about 30% of the game. So it's not really a hard match. And to my surprise, like I know this like Pittsburgh likes to play their third line against opposing teams' top lines. Like this is their shutdown line with Tanev there instead of Lafferty. But looks like the matchups are all over the place. Not really any hard matching, but not too much I like from the Philly side here. I think if you want to go for a punt defenseman, someone that's a little bit cheaper, I think you're fine with Sanheim. He's a guy with kind of high goal upside and shot and block peripherals. Not too big of a fan of Elliott tonight. On the road, he's near 8K. I think there's a little bit better options on the slate. They do give up quite a bit of shots, so he is a volume play, but I would just correlate him with my Philly stacks if you're playing Philly lineups. On the Pittsburgh side, definitely have some interest in Pittsburgh one tonight. They're probably one of the top lines tonight. I do like that they were sort of avoiding the Couturier line. Seems like about 70% of the game they were not against them. But who knows if they're going to change their strategy a little bit going into this game. We'll see. But only from the Pittsburgh side is just the top line here. All power play, one correlated. Philly takes a lot of penalties. They struggle a lot on the penalty kill, 72% penalty kill. Pittsburgh is known for a pretty good power play. So once they start getting it going, you're going to start seeing a lot of goals on the board. This line together was really good 5-on-5 last year in a pretty big sample, 224 minutes. So that's what we like to see. Defensive end, you can definitely pair Letang with your Pittsburgh one stacks. Does make them about 25K, but he's definitely going to be a little bit more of a contrarian pick at 6,300, just because there's other plays on the slate tonight, and we'll get to them, like with Hedman and Yossi, but definitely don't mind Letang. Like Matheson, I really like Marino. Marino's always a really good player, 2,700, power play too. Plays like 22 minutes a night, and that's what you want to see from players at that price tag. So definitely give me some John Marino tonight. I think Tristan Jarry is actually a really good play with your Pittsburgh stacks, and it's just a way to get different from the field. Pittsburgh's going to be popular tonight. They're usually popular. And Jarry's just kind of a way to get different because a lot of people, and this was evident 2 nights ago, they were not pairing Jarry with their Philly stacks, their Pittsburgh stacks, not at all. So I like to correlate my goaltenders. It kind of just makes it a little bit easier. You're kind of going under the assumption that, if Pittsburgh 1 pops off, Jarry's in line for the win. You're going to need that line to score 2 or 3 goals. So that's kind of how I play it. I don't know if anyone does differently, but that's how I play these slates, especially when I'm MMEing. Like I did a bunch of lineups last night too. So, all right. So Winnipeg, Montreal. This is an interesting one because I was kind of looking at Jake Allen's stats. He was really good analytically last year, like one of the top goalies analytically. And he's been solid this year. Hasn't given up more than 3 goals in a game. Montreal has been pretty sound defensively, kind of make up for the lackluster offense right now. But I do think it's sort of a favorable spot for Winnipeg tonight. They're going to have some ownership. This top line always gets a bunch of ownership. The Scheifele-Wheeler combo has been really good. So from what I know, Montreal is going to hard match their top line who is really sound 5-on-5 against this Winnipeg top line. So kind of a bad matchup for both sides. But I do like the Winnipeg side a little bit more just because of Montreal's. They just can't stay out of the box. They're first in the league for penalties. This Winnipeg team has a really strong power play. I wish Pionk was on the top unit, but hard to ignore a team that's getting 4 or 5 opportunities in the power play a night. And just such a good power play team. The value's not there for me, but I'm going to get to some. The ownership's definitely going to be there for them. They always are. Winnipeg 2, some interest. Again, just a really tough matchup against this Suzuki, Drew, and Toffoli line that's been really good 5-on-5. But going to have some in this game. Hard to ignore it. Defensive side here, you're fine going forward if you need a cheaper defenseman to kind of get different in your lineups. Hellebuck, I like. Montreal shoots the puck a lot. Winnipeg gives up a lot of shots, so he's going to see a bunch of volume tonight, and 7,500 price tags, very favorable for him. You're kind of just banking on 35 saves with Hellebuck. And then Montreal, like, I'm fine getting to this Montreal 1 line. Like, they have extremely good numbers, but I do think Hellebuck is a goalie that teams struggle to score on, and that's kind of scaring me away a little bit from them. I do think there's better spots, but at the 14K price tag, they are cheap. 2 guys on the second power play unit. Montreal has like power play 1A and power play 1B. Like, they're not afraid to put the second line out there or the first line. Boudreau, I guess it's not Boudreau anymore, but haven't really seen too much of the new coaching changes. I'm assuming they kind of are keeping the same systems. Montreal 3 is one of the few liable third lines to play tonight. If you're looking for a third line, there aren't too many pay-up options tonight. This is kind of a different slate where there's just a bunch of value. Defensive side, Weber's fine, 6,100. Winnipeg gives up a ton of shots, so giving Weber 4 or 5 shots, he's a guy that has like one of the highest adjusted shooting talents in the league. That's just based on like shooting percentages over his career. So like Pasternak, Matthews, like they're both up there with Shea Weber. Jake Allen, 7,700. He's good. Montreal's at home. They've actually been worse at home than on the road, but I don't think that'll last too long. Montreal's just been taking a lot of penalties, so that's kind of what scares me. But do think the volume's going to be there, and 7,700 is a good price tag for Allen and how good he's been this season. Oh, there's Nightbot. Nice. Yeah, guys, so first time getting Nightbot going here, so. All right. What do you think about, do you think Buchnevich is worth an ad? Yeah, in a little bit deeper leagues, I would say, but he's definitely worth an ad. Hold Josh Anderson, yeah, you have to. Just toss him on your IR. Is it time to trade or get rid of Line A? Yeah, like you can move him. It just depends on what you can get back because he still has a lot of value. And I'll get to that on the Carolina side here. How come you're solo today? Yeah, Clarky, he's working today and tomorrow, and then he's off. So he's gonna be back on Saturday, I'm hoping. Traded Couture, Kaprizov, and Samsonov for Landeskog, Demko, and Hart. Yeah, that's a really good trade. I mean, Demko's not like the best, but I still think it's a good trade. I like Hart as a buy low. Serve him late. I don't know if you went over this, but anyone have takes on if Konechny will do well, like tonight or season long? Tonight, I'm not too excited about him. That line just hasn't been getting it done for me. I dropped Morrissey for Leddy. Tired of seeing so much. Yeah, he's like Provorov, just 26 minutes and that's it. But Leddy, yeah, he's been hot. And I'll get to the Islanders. I really like them tonight. I get Fox for Dumba and Sorelli. Yep, that's a good trade. What's up, Lusick? Jumbo or Sorelli? Jumbo for me. I get Pasta, Batherson, and Kubalik for Nylander, JVR, Kuznetsov. That's like a no-brainer. Pasternak is like he's a top 5 player. So, 100%. If Toivu comes back today, should I drop Meyer or Fiala in a Bangers league? If you need to drop one, I would say Meyer. Yeah, definitely get Pasta. All right. Next game, Detroit, Carolina. So some changes here. Looks like Teravainen's back. He's on the top line. Couldn't be more excited about this. This line was electric last year. They won me a lot of money last year. When they were somehow getting 0 ownership with 3 studs on their top line. Definitely have a lot of interest in them tonight. They're going to be popular. Favorable matchup against Detroit. Carolina's at home, and that's what you want to see. So they can kind of just pick and choose their matchups. I'm not sure how they're going to match. I'm going to assume this Aho, Svech, Teravainen line is going to go against Detroit 1. Mantha, Fabry, Ryan. Not a very good defensive line at all. Love the matchup for them tonight. Carolina 2 also in a really good spot going against Detroit depth. So going to have some of them. The only thing with Carolina is you kind of have to pick and choose your spots. You obviously know the top line is going to get the most ownership. And they're priced up a little bit more. It's not too big of a difference, but they're always going to get more ownership. So if you're more of a cash player and you're looking to get away from the ownership sometimes, definitely go to Carolina 2. They're in just as good of a spot. Their power play is about a 60-40 spread, and I love the Niederreiter power play 2 spot for them. They're always a good play. On the defensive side here, Dougie Hamilton, very good play tonight. Definitely one of the more high floor plays, I would say. At the 6,800 price tag, you're going to get 4 or 5 shots, and then definitely an opportunity on the power play and some goal and assist upside from him. Nedeljkovic, 8,200, fair price given the matchup tonight. Detroit doesn't shoot the puck a lot, and I don't know if the volume is going to necessarily be there, but he's in line. They're a minus 300 favorite today, so they're a huge favorite in this game. He's going to have a bunch of ownership because of that, but don't mind Nedeljkovic at all. I think on this Detroit side, you could go Detroit 1 just because of the power play correlation. Carolina does take quite a few penalties, and their penalty kill is kind of weak. But I just think at that price tag, there's just better options. Carolina's a really strong defensive team, so I don't have too much interest in this Detroit side at all, and not sure if I will this year until Bertuzzi and Larkin are back. But Jonathan Bernier, 6,900. If you guys need to pay down for a goalie significantly, I don't mind Bernier. He's a guy that faces a ton of shots, so you're kind of just hoping for 30-40 saves tonight, even if the goals against, because they're going to be there. He's going to let up probably 3 or 4 goals tonight. So he's basically just a volume play. But Carolina side for me, they're in a really good spot tonight. A lot of very favorable pricing, and a lot of people that don't like Aho in here for some reason. So I'm an Aho guy. I'm a Svechnikov guy. They dominate 5-on-5, and we're going to see that for majority of this game. Buffalo and the Islanders. So I wish Clarky was here because he always bugs me about my love for the Islanders 1 and how good they are 5-on-5. But probably going to lose money on them once again today. I'm back on the Islanders 1 train. They're just in a really, really good spot. And there's a couple of reasons. So the first reason is it looks like they're going to be matching up against Buffalo depth. Line 2 and 3. Line 2 has just been atrocious defensively. Line 3 is not sound defensively at all. So they're going to be playing against the depth. It looks like this Islanders 3 line that has a lot of love is going against Buffalo 1 tonight. And that's how they usually hard match it in the Islanders. So this Islanders 3 line is also in a good spot. So the first reason is Islanders 1 going against Buffalo depth. Jonas Johansson's in net, who is not an NHL caliber goalie. And the third reason is that Buffalo doesn't take penalties, and this Islanders line dominates 5-on-5. So they're going to see most of the game 5-on-5, and they're just going to be working teams a ton. They never get ownership. They're priced pretty favorably tonight. So I'm all over Islanders 1 tonight. I'm going to regret it, but the ownership's going to be low, guys, so don't overkill them in your lineups. Get to about 10 to 15% of them, I would say, if you're doing 20 lineups. Toss them in 4 or 5. You don't have to be putting them in 10 or 20 of your 20 lineups. I think you're fine because the ownership's always low on them to get to maybe 3 or 4 in your 20 lineups. Really like them tonight. I really like Islanders 2 tonight. They're going to be playing against the depth lines as well, as this third line is going to take control of the Eichel, Reinhart, Olofsson line. So definitely have some interest from Islanders 2 tonight. They're priced very favorably. You can fit them with almost any stack you pick. And you're fine to pair them with Nick Leddy, a guy who skates with them 5-on-5. He's been getting a bunch of assists. Skates with 2 of them on the power play. Their power play share is about 60-40. I'm not sure if Cosmo's in here. I know he's in the Discord, but we talked about it today in the Islanders 2 power play share. So don't mind Islanders 2 at all today. Buffalo 1 is the only reason why you're going to play them tonight, and I do think they're fine, is because the Islanders take a ton of penalties. They're almost at 4 penalties a game, up with Montreal territory. And this team has a 30% penalty power play, very, very high. They love capitalizing. Olofsson is just a beast. So I think Buffalo one's in a pretty good spot, but they're a super contrarian play. You're getting away from the ownership with them. Dahlin, 5,200. He's fine. You're just going to be pairing him with your Buffalo one stacks, not really a one-off defenseman. And then on the Islanders defensive side, Pulak's okay. I just think it's kind of a no man's land range tonight. Like, there's not too many D in that price range that's like a go-to guy. Pulak actually hasn't been too good this year. He was really good last year, but Varlamov, 8,300. Solid goaltender tonight. Buffalo shoots the puck, so I'm going to get some volume. He's been lights out this year. Actually, if I can remember correctly, okay, Cosmo is in here. What's up, Cosmo? If I can remember correctly, actually, I think Sorokin actually is starting tonight, but no confirmation. I think the Islanders said they're not confirming anything, but keep an eye on that for sure. If you guys are in the Discord, it'll be there. If not, follow us on Twitter at @fantasy_puck. We'll provide updates on there as well. Okay, so what do we got? Hopefully we see the Fetch brothers play against each other tonight. Yeah, it's funny. Always your hottie pick. Yeah, we'll get to that. I need Kate Hayes to get in the score sheet tonight. Yeah, he's been kind of slow. Like, he is way better with Couturier out. What Jonas brothers in net for Buffalo? Yeah, Barzal's in a great spot tonight. All right. Yeah, JPP, is that John Pierre Paul? Is that who that is? I'm not too good with football. I've been getting into it a little bit more recently. All right, so Rangers jersey. Couple lineup changes here. We got Miles Wood, the expected goals machine. If any of you guys are not fantasy. If any of you guys are analytics lovers, you know how good Miles Wood is. Shoots the puck a lot. So from the Rangers side here, definitely have some interest in Rangers 1 tonight. They're in a good spot. The jersey has been very bad on the penalty kill. I like that they have a pretty fair share between the first and second lines. I think 5-on-5, it's a favorable matchup against a Jersey team that's been very bad defensively. So give me some Rangers 1 tonight. Give me some Mika. I don't have the jersey on. It's right behind me. You guys can see it, but Mika's going to break out of this slump, guys. He projects so well for us tonight. Just a very good spot for them. I think line 2 is also a very good play tonight, especially with this New Jersey penalty kill at 60%. They've been waking up a little bit, but I do think if you give the Rangers 3 or 4 opportunities tonight, they're gonna capitalize. So Rangers 2 also in a pretty favorable spot against the Jersey depth. On the defensive side, Fox is priced up quite a bit tonight, but I don't mind him, especially with your Rangers 2 stacks, correlating them all in the power play. 6,600 is a pretty expensive price tag. Like, there's other D to go to, but like Yossi at 6,800 is going to be very high owned in comparison to Fox. That's going to be a lot lower on the ownership side. Keandre Miller, power play 2, plays a lot of minutes, gets blocks, shoots the puck. He's fine punt at 3,600. Same with like that Sanheim range. I think Shesterkin's a fine play. I don't like too much that they're on the road, but they do allow quite a few shots, and he's looked sharp. So definitely give me some Shesterkin tonight with my Ranger stacks at a pretty favorable price tag. On the Jersey side, so I'm not sure how the line matching is going to go because they're kind of all over the place, this team, like especially with their depth. But I'm going to assume Jersey 1 is going to be facing off against Rangers 1, who are pretty good defensively. Like, Zib's a really good defensive centerman, but Lafreniere is not a good defensive winger. So I don't mind Jersey 1. I liked them a lot more before the show, but doing some digging, I do think they're in kind of a poor spot tonight. But the Rangers do take a lot of penalties. They are going to the penalty kill, but lots of opportunity for this Jersey 1 line tonight. They're going to be playing a bunch of minutes, shooting the puck a lot with Zaka and Wood there. Sorry, Palmieri and Wood there. Too high shot volume, guys. On the defensive side here, Sami Vatanen, for some reason, is still min price. The number 1 value defenseman tonight is Sami Vatanen. He's just a player that's getting it done his entire career, especially his peripherals. He projects very good for us tonight. And he's just someone that you'll see on the score sheet and shooting and blocking, and he's min price for some reason. So give me some Vatanen tonight. Probably my favorite punt defenseman. Mackenzie Blackwood, 7,800. I like him. He's a very strong goaltender, 5-on-5. His weakness is on the penalty kill, and this is kind of evident from the 63% penalty kill percentage. But 5-on-5, he's an absolute monster. So maybe if the the Devils don't take too many penalties, Blackwood can come away with 40, 50 saves tonight. 50 saves is kind of a joke for us because there was a night we played last season where we were kind of on Blackwood, and he had 53 save shutout and an assist. It was like one of the craziest nights I've seen for a goaltending performance. I'm not sure if anyone in here remembers that from last year. He had like a 56-point night. I can actually pull it up here. But he had like one of the craziest fantasy nights I've ever seen at like 0 ownership. Like he was like 0.6% owned. Crazy. Drop Jeff Carter for Miles Wood. Yep, you can do that. Carter's on power play too as well. Picked up Booch, so I need Zib to get going. Man, I need Zib to get going bad. All right. Yeah, just for my credentials. Coots or Zib? Yeah, it's Zib for me, guys. Like I hope I don't eat my words, but he was a second half MVP last year. Like I like him just a lot as a player. I don't know if I know a lot of people in here from the Discord watch those Rangers games, and he looks good. So okay, so Tampa Chicago, very interesting game tonight. I don't know how I want to play this yet, but I do know that Tampa takes a ton of penalties, and Chicago has a great penalty kill. A great power play. So I'm going to have some Chicago 1 tonight. I do think their ownership's going to be very low, given how good Vasilevsky's been. So this is definitely a contrarian play, but I do think they're in a pretty good spot tonight. Against a Tampa team that's just taken so many penalties right now. So I'm going to have some Chicago 1. That's about it from the Chicago side. On the Tampa side, though, a lot of interest for me, actually. I like Tampa 1 and 2 tonight quite a bit. Chicago has been giving up a ton of shots, and they don't really stay out of the box too much. 3 penalties a game, pretty poor penalty kill. I do think these lines are going to come back to life, and we're going to see their expected goals against numbers rise quite a bit on the Chicago side. So I want to take advantage of that from the Tampa side. So you can definitely do Tampa power play stacks if you wanted to go Stamkos, Point, Palat. But you can also 3-3 stack the top 2 lines here. They're both in good spots. I'm going to have some for sure tonight. And I'm going to pair Hedman with them as well. He's a guy that is always on the score sheet. And you're kind of just hoping for a couple blocks and a couple shots to add to his points. And that's how he's going to pay off the most value. Vasilevsky, the most expensive goaltender tonight for a good reason. He's such a good goaltender. Tampa limits chances. Going to have some. But it's just hard for me to pay up $8,500 for a goalie tonight on the road. And he has been really good, so he's definitely going to get some ownership, but he kind of handcuffs you at that really expensive price tag. I think Cernak at $2,900 is a very good value defenseman. He's someone that's been getting it done in the peripheral column, and that's what you're kind of looking for, just the high floor guys at $2,900 that can provide you with 3 blocks and get you the bonus and pay off value. So you can pay up for your other defensemen. And McDonough's price finally coming down. Like, I remember at one point, McDonough was up at like $5K, $5,300, and it was crazy. But have some interest in him tonight as well. He's a guy that can get you 5 shots and 3 blocks on any given night. I think Lankinen here, for players that like to correlate their goaltenders, I would keep him with your Chicago stacks. Just a shot volume play. Like, he's a guy that gets like 40 shots a game and makes 37 saves. So don't mind Lankinen tonight, but it is a really tough matchup for him. And then Calvin Tahan, another low-priced defenseman that blocks a ton of shots. And I see some people talking about Boquist. Definitely a good player to pair with your Chicago 1 stacks, especially with that power play 1 correlation. The minutes aren't there for me, but he's a guy that if you're taking Chicago power play, you kind of have to mix him in at that price. Because if he gets 2 points in the power play, he pays off pretty good value for you. But I do think his ownership is going to be pretty high, a lot higher than we think. Okay, Florida, Nashville. This Florida 1 line, so we see Vetrano up on the top line. He's a guy that shoots the puck a ton. Like, he's up there with Miles Wood for guys that shoot the puck a lot. I do wish we had Duclair back up there. He was someone that on that line. They were very good 5-on-5, like one of the top 5-on-5 lines in the league. Not sure how Nashville's going to match these lines tonight. I would assume Nashville 3 is going to be going against Florida 1. So if that does happen, I still think it's a pretty good matchup for them. Nashville is atrocious on the penalty kill, and they take penalties. So you could easily go Barkov, Huberdeau, Hornqvist if you wanted to. You can get kind of weird tonight if you wanted and do Barkov, Yandel, Huberdeau 3-man stacks. All for that power play 1 correlation, and they do skate 5-on-5 together, like the defense and the forwards. So definitely a lot of love from this Florida side tonight. They're going to get ownership. They always do. But they pepper teams with shots, like pepper. And Pekka Rinne is not a goalie that can save a lot of shots. So I'm going to have some Florida tonight. Team that I'm not really high on at all. You guys probably have heard me bash them 2 or 3 times now, but I'm going to be on them tonight. I think Yandel's a fine play at 4,300. I think Ekblad's a good play at 5,100. Power play 1. Gets the peripherals, plays a ton of minutes. One of the highest ATOIs in the league. And then another value defenseman, Mackenzie Weegar, 3,600. Gets shots, gets blocks, gets points. He's there for me. And then Anton Strollman at 2,600. Plays quite a bit of minutes, actually, for someone that's at 2,600. So he's there with the John Marino range. And then Bobrovsky, I'm probably not on him tonight. He's a goalie that is just not up at the NHL caliber for me. But I do think if Drieger starts, he's a very intriguing option tonight. On this Nashville side, so we see Eli Tolvanen on the top line. He's someone you guys can look for in your deeper leagues for people that are kind of desperate for power play points. He's been pretty good the last week. And he's seen quite a big increase in minutes. So have some interest from this Nashville 1 line. I think just Forsberg is a little too priced up for me. Even though his shot volume's there, I just wish he was a little bit cheaper and brought that value of this lineup. But that's about it from the Nashville offense side. On the defensive side, Matthias Ekholm off the second power play, but he was really good last game. He banked. You had to have him to be in the top 20 in most of the contests, but he's a guy that's been getting it done offensively in his career. He projects pretty well for us tonight. Roman Josi, always a very good defenseman option. Highest floor in the league. Going to have some of him tonight. It's hard for me to ever get away from him. And then Dante Fabro, power play 2 tonight. Play more minutes with Ellis out. Have some interest in him. I just wish he was a little bit cheaper. He's a little bit too expensive for me. Gudas not available tonight for Florida. Actually, not sure on that. Can look into it though for you. Looks like Demko is starting tonight too, guys. Just saw that. See what I have on Gudas here. Yeah, it looks like it says he's playing in his 500th game tonight. So it looks like Gudas is in tonight. Yeah, I'm surprised about Ekholm too, Jax. All right, so Columbus, Dallas. This is a game I did want to touch on quite a bit here. So the main thing is that this Dallas 3 line, their shutdown line with 405 minutes of sample last season, didn't even give up 2 expected goals against per 60. They're just really, really good defensively, and they're going to be pairing against this Columbus 1 line that's 19-1, and they're on the road against a really tough defensive team in Dallas, and we don't know if Laine is going to play the entire game tonight. He got sat last game, so I'm completely off Columbus tonight, and I'm usually not because I do like their correlation on their lines, but I'm off Columbus as a whole tonight. Besides the defensive side, you're definitely fine going with Werenski on power play 1 at a pretty favorable price tag. He was really good last game. A lot of people have been dropping him. I have a couple of leagues where he's getting dropped in, but definitely give me some Werenski tonight. On this Dallas side, so I'm kind of curious on what to do because I do like the opportunity against Columbus, who's been giving up just a ton of chances and a ton of goals. And I think if I go anywhere tonight, it's gonna be Dallas 2. They're just a very favorably priced line, and they have 2 guys on the top power play units, and they have a really good 5-on-5 numbers. So anywhere from this Dallas side for me, it's gonna be Dallas 2. Really like Heiskanen tonight at 4,200. He's a very good value defenseman for us tonight. I think he's seen power play one time. Not sure if anyone can confirm that for me. It looks like we don't have it up here. Let me look into this quickly. No, so Heiskanen is power play 2. But I definitely like him tonight. Like the 5-on-5 matchup's very favorable for him. Should be skating with that Hintz, Gurionov, Jason Robertson line. And definitely compare them all. So give me some Dallas tonight. Hudobin, very good spot tonight as well. 8K. Columbus just hasn't been getting it done offensively for me. So I think you're fine pairing Hudobin with your Dallas stacks. So it looks like we have 50 people in here, 19 likes on the stream, guys. If you're enjoying the stream so far, feel free to leave a like. It just helps keep us motivated, gets our algorithm a little bit better, gets more people in here. So overall benefits all of us in the end. And it is tough doing these streams solo, so just appreciate it for the motivation here, guys. All right, Ottawa, Calgary. So what I want to do in this game tonight is I really want to monitor who this Ottawa 1 line is going to be going against. And from what we've seen in the past, it's been against Calgary 2. So that's kind of shying me away from this Calgary 2 line. That's actually in a pretty good spot tonight, and they project really well. But just that 5-on-5 matchup's tough for me. So I'm going to get to some, and it's because Ottawa has a really bad penalty kill, and they take penalties. And I do like that Calgary's at home. So I think you can easily pair to Chuck with your Monahan Gaudreau stacks, or Gaudreau with your Lindholm to Chuck stacks. So you guys can definitely get weird in this game. There's going to be a lot of ownership on it because the total is super high on the Calgary side tonight. But it's just hard for me to target against this to Chuck Norris Brown line that's been really solid 5-on-5. But the goaltending is really weak on Ottawa. Decord actually had a pretty good game against Montreal. I think he only had 2 goals against, but Calgary, they took off Chuck on their best line, the Backlund Mangiapane line. I don't know why they're doing that. I really want to see them, all 3 of them, play like 20 games together and just see what happens. But I'm not the coach, so Ottawa 3 tonight. They're also in a pretty good spot. Calgary takes a lot of penalties. I think you're fine doing Stützle, Batherson, Shabbat 3-man stacks. Stützle, Batherson are really good 2-mans as well at the 8K price tag. I think you can pair Brady with them as well, the 3 winger stacks, but it just kind of helps get different from the field. I don't mind Ottawa 2 tonight. I'm not sure who they're going to be paired up against, but they do have pretty good 5-on-5 numbers and they're really cheap. But there is a lot of very good value lines tonight and just not a lot of pay up lines. The number 1 pay up line is in the next game, and we'll talk about it. But on the defensive side, Brandstrom's fine at 2,900. He's a punt defenseman that you're kind of hoping gets done in the power play, which he has been doing. I'm not sure if Devils is in here, but I know Devils likes Brandstrom from what I know. But Matt Murray, 7K, 10-foot pole. He's on the road tonight. They're a huge underdog. Not going to be touching him. And then on the Calgary defensive side, you can definitely pair Anderson with your Calgary stacks. He's going to get some ownership tonight, but he's a guy that skates a ton on the first power play. At Ottawa, like I've mentioned, it just struggles on the penalty kill. David Riddick, so I don't believe he's what we saw in Toronto. And that's the same thing for Hutchinson, what we saw in Toronto against Edmonton. I just think Riddick's not an NHL caliber goaltender by any means. So I'm going to get to some just because Ottawa shoots the puck a ton and he's at home. But I do think there's other plays for a little bit cheaper than him. So for me tonight, Calgary 1, 2, and 3 are all in play. And then Calgary power play stacks. So this game's going to be a weird one, man. I don't know how it's going to play out. Werenski is not a D-man I'd ever consider dropping. Yeah, man, he was dropped in one of my leagues for Lawson Krause. And then we have a group chat, so I wrote in the group chat, I go, no way you just drop drop Werenski for Krause. But yeah, what's Calgary doing now? They don't even know. Marner or Pasternak? Pasternak for me. Dzingel on fire tonight or first line? Is he on first line tonight? No. Let me check. He's fourth line. Hey, if you guys want to take some Ottawa 4, I'm down. Drop Spurgeon for Gurionov. Depends on your needs, Patrick. Depends if you need a defenseman or not. How your D looking? Rip the best line on Calgary, yeah. All right, move on. Wow, I'm kind of flying through this. Do you have any games? Did I miss any games? I feel like I went through this so fast. All right, looks like the last game of the night, Toronto and Vancouver. It's a lot easier when it's a solo slate. I'm talking about myself, but all right, Toronto, Vancouver. This is like the only kind of pay up line that I really like tonight. I think Toronto one's in a good spot again against a Vancouver team that's been pretty bad defensively, but they've definitely shaped it up the last few games. The only thing I don't like about Toronto tonight is they are on the road, so it is going to be kind of a tough matchup. I'm assuming they're going to be going against this Horvat, Höglander, Pearson line that's actually pretty solid 5-on-5 defensively, but definitely have some interest from Toronto one tonight. They're in a good spot. They're a really good line. They project well for us as well. Vancouver just can't stay out of the penalty box, especially Edler and Myers, two guys that literally take 3 penalties a game. It's like, it's crazy if you watch, just so many bad penalties. Like, I just don't get how you're an NHL caliber player and you're just like are consistently taking bad penalties. But Toronto 1, Toronto 2 for me tonight, both in good spots. You could even go down to Toronto 3 and 4. For those of you in the Discord, I kind of hyped up Toronto 4 a little bit, and they were like really good last night, but I had them paired with my Boston stacks, so that would have been really fun to see Boston pop off with my Toronto 4 line. But I think you're fine playing all 4 Toronto lines tonight. And then on the defensive side here, Muzzin at 5K, a little pricey, but I still think it's a good matchup tonight. I think, is it Hutch starting tonight? Do we have confirmation if it's Hutch? Let me take a peek here. Oh, there's just a bunch of Hutchinsons on Twitter from what I'm seeing. How common is his last name? Let's see. Yeah, I don't think we have any confirmation on Hutchinson, but Freddie went last night, so it'll probably be Hutch tonight. And that kind of puts me more on this Vancouver side. So looks like the Miller, Pettersson, Besser lines back together, which I'm happy to see. They're in a good spot tonight, good power play spot. I don't know if Hutchinson's a fluke. I think he is. Like, he's been a goalie that's been just terrible in his career. So definitely going to get to some Vancouver tonight. I'm more inclined to take the second line if they're playing against Toronto 2 and 3. Just because this Matthews line has been really good 5-on-5. So not much love from this Pearson, Horvat, Höglander line for me. Just a really tough matchup. The third line for Vancouver is very cheap and they have very good numbers. If you need like a pretty big pay down option, you can go to them, but I just don't think you need to with the slate tonight. There's not really many expensive players. So, but I don't mind them as a contrarian third line play. And then on the defensive side, they have a lot of favorable price tags tonight. I like Edler, I like Hamonic, and I don't mind Thatcher Demko, guys. And this is gonna bite me a little bit, but Toronto's on the road tonight. They're in a back-to-back, and they are a pretty high shot volume team. So I think Demko's fine at 7,300. You're just kind of hoping for volume and the win for Vancouver. But I know historically Vancouver's really good at home. So Vancouver 2 for me tonight if I'm going anywhere. And then Demko. All right. That went by quicker than I anticipated, guys, for being kind of a big slate tonight. But favorite line for me tonight, guys, New York Islanders 1. I just like them for the ownership play. They're low owned, and they're going against a terrible, terrible Buffalo team that just gives up a ton of shots and does not have starting goaltending tonight. So Islanders 1 is my favorite play tonight. Boston was my favorite play, and they did not cash. So losing the credentials. But defensive side, for a value defenseman, I really like Sami Vatanen. I like Brandstrom as well. And then if you want to pay out for a defenseman, can never go wrong with Yossi at home. And then Dougie Hamilton as well is in a very good spot. All right, guys. So you know what it's time for. Just going to drop a quick plug here. Look, Nightbot's been posting it, but our Discord, Click that link, guys. Join our Discord if you're not in it yet. We have 58 people in here. Discord's growing. We're well over 200 people now. A lot of awesome people in there. Our Patreon is free tonight. I think I saw Dovidas post it. That's one of our FP guys. Where is it? So it should be free. Let me get this link up for you guys. Let me know if this link works, guys. But this sheet's free for you guys tonight. We're gonna be posting it for free about two times a week on the bigger slates. Make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. It's all available on our Patreon if you guys want to support us as content creators. Nightbot's posting that out there. There's a $5 tier, $8 tier, and $15 tier, all with different perks. If you guys want access to our trade analyzer, that'll also be available from our $15 $8 tier. Get a lot of questions about trades here, guys. So it's super simple. You just toss in the players' names and it tells you which side wins based on our projections. Everything we base our stuff off of. And there's a custom one as well. So all available over on our Patreon, guys. Really helps us out. Keeps us going. Gets better equipment. More people on board. All of that stuff. All right. So you guys know what it's time for. Hat-trick predictions. So I tallied up the scores right before the stream. Looks like, Ben, if you're in here, you had the best score, the best opportunity last night. The only player with 2 goals, Mr. Mikko Rantanen, 36 points. Hopefully you guys took him last night. He played very well. That Colorado team in general played well. But new night, new players, new games, new hat-tricks. So, kind of some surprising names down here, though. Ovi with no goals, McKinnon with nothing, McDavid with nothing. McDavid's actually like the lowest projected guy we had here. But toss out those hat-trick predictions, guys. Hopefully someone binks tonight. Devils for Cup, still the reigning champion. All right, so Cosmo with the first submission with Timmy Stutes. Respect. And for those of you that are new to the stream, if you are new, Devils for Cup in the chat is the current only person to get the hat-trick pick with Chris Kreider. So that kind of just shows, guys, that you can go off the board and still get it. So it was very hype when he got 3 goals. You guys are gonna hate me for my pick tonight. Eichel got that power play luck. Wow, not a noted goal scorer, but Gordon Barkov. I love it. Again, it goes back to they don't have to be the 50, 60 goal scorer, guys. Malkin. Uh-oh. Dude, I put your name as Mitchell Malkin. How about that? Some love for Pajot. Ray, good to see you back, man. Happy you had a good week at work. No, we were talking about it, but welcome back to the stream. Ethan going Matthews, second Matthews. Hard to keep Matthews off the score sheet 2 nights in a row, eh, guys? Oh, yeah. Anders Lee. Okay, with the John Scott pick. So we're just going to trade John Scott before the game today, so you can't put that pick through. Can't believe that happened. What a joke. One of the more exciting things to happen in the league. Kyle Connor got that power play opportunity tonight. Yeah, you guys are crushing it right now. Another Sawston. Oh, Greg with the hottest player on the slate tonight, Mr. Drake Batherson. Is it the second one? Yeah, second one. Man, I hope one of you guys hit. It's pretty exciting. If you guys do hit, you will get GOAT status in the Discord. So only one guy with it right now. Devils is liking these tire pumps. But definitely a very credible player. Kevin with the booch. Oh, Ricardo taking my pick. All right, I'll have to go the other guy then. This might be the most submissions we've had. No, not Nathan Beaulieu. Come on. Connor Bunnaman, no way. Connor Bunnaman. What a scandal, eh? What a joke. The news anchor. Shout out to 41, guys. The GOAT. Oh, Svechkin, nice. Oh, we got a late submission with the PLD. Carmine Vecchio. It's a good Italian name. Respect. Patrick Laine. Hopefully Torts plays him for your Lux Z5. Ooh. We got Batherson. All right, guys. We got 32 submissions, including myself. That's our most we've had. So definitely a lot of opportunity tonight. A lot of different names. Yeah. I'm going to go with... I'm thinking Barzell. And I'm going to regret it, but I'm going to go with Mr. Brock Besser tonight. I think Hutch is due for a couple goals against. And Toronto's on the back-to-back. So... see what happens. Oh, a couple late picks. Matthew Yates off the board with expected goals machine Miles Wood. Oh, Thrills. Waiting for my pick, Thrills. Actually, I guess this is a little delayed, but geez, 35 submissions. All right, guys. So thanks everyone for tuning in again. Another awesome stream. A lot of engagement in chat. If you guys have any questions or anything, just head over to the Discord. If you want to ask me anything about DraftKings, just message me individually, guys. I'll be available almost all day long. I'm just getting my video prepared for this weekend. So feel free to message me. I couldn't go down. Come on, Cosmo. Guys, yeah, get in the Discord if you're not in there. Nightbot's been hyping it up. Our DraftKings sheet is free today. Hopefully the link works for everyone. I know this really caters to a lot of the season-long players as well, just identified matchups and lines that have been doing well. Appreciate you all tuning in once again today. Hit that like button before you go. If you're not subscribed, definitely do that. We're going to be doing this almost daily. So, again, win some money tonight. Good luck, everyone, in your fantasy matchups. Good luck, everyone playing DraftKings. If you need to get a hold of me, just message me on Discord. I'll be available all day today. Love you guys, and